Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here. And you are very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Hello and welcome to Sunday's edition on this beautiful sunny Sunday day morning to Sunday's edition of the dceu Daily. And if you're feeling charitable, please smash that subscribe button and that like button and follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. So I woke up this morning and I thought, Mick, what are we going to talk about on Sunday's edition of the dceu Daily? And I'm thinking, because of what's going on, I'm really got a lot of anxiety. I'm emotionally drained, and I really didn't want to go into the emotional subject of the Snyder Cut or the dceu or what's going on with Wonder Woman 1984, because we don't know when we're going to see it, which is anxiety for all fans. So I thought, let's look back and let's talk about why we love Superman. And what I've been doing today is I've been watching the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2. And of course, that has so many parallels and emotions for the Snyder cut when we finally see that. I don't think you understand, as a person of my age, looking forward after Superman the movie to see Richard Donner's and Tom Mankiewicz's Superman 2, and then to be told that Dick was sacked. Dick was sacked because it took him nearly 3 years to make Superman the movie, because he didn't have CGI, he didn't have VFX. He had to do everything, nearly everything, in the camera. It was an amazing achievement. Going back, watching Superman the movie, as I often do, that movie is such an achievement. So sometimes when I hear kind of my fellow Snyder fans putting those movies down, I think, do you realise what an achievement that was? And so was it in 2006 we finally got the Richard Donner cut? Now, this isn't a perfect storm. It isn't his total vision, because he didn't shoot everything. So as he said at the time to the guy who helped him, it was something Chew, I think his name is. Anyway, so they worked on this together, and he said to, I think it was Richard, and he said, listen, Richard, I don't want to deal with the Richard Lester scenes. You can put them in, but I don't want to deal with them because it's too painful. So this meant a hell of a lot to Dick Donner. So the Donner cut is amazing. The Donner cut is amazing because we finally get to see those missing Marlon Brando sequences. Aren't they amazing? They really are, especially the one when Clark's lost his powers, he goes to the Fortress of Solitude, he finds this green power crystal, right? And Jor-El says to him, Kal-El, you have made a serious mistake, but there's one last chance for you to redeem yourself. So finally, the father will become the son and the son will become the father. So Jor-El touches him, vanishes, and he gets his powers back. It is a freaking awesome sequence. So that, they obviously use some modern technology, but I think his name's Richard, but Richard at the time, the special effects guy, said that they didn't want the effects to look too 2006. They wanted them to fit in with what was done with the original Superman 2. And it looks amazing. Now, the real Superman 2 we would have got from Dick Donner and the genius, who is Tom Mankiewicz, would have been analysing Superman's role on the planet Earth. Now, what do I mean by that? You see, his father sent him to Earth, right, to protect humanity, to be our hero. That's why he's got those powers, right? So he decides he wants to be with Lois Lane. And then Jor-El, in another extra scene, goes to him, what about humanity? He's literally telling Clark he's being selfish. So Clark goes, but what about me? Doesn't it matter what I want? So Jor-El says to him, fine, if you want to be with her, you can't keep these powers. I'm going to take them away from you. So he becomes a human being. He goes to the cafe, he gets the shit kicked out of him because this trucker's coming on to Lois, right? So it's analysing Clark Kent as a character, because in this film, he literally says, in this version, in Dick Donner's and Tom Mankiewicz's superior version, and I do like the original Superman 2, but this is a much better film, a much better story arc. Clark decides, I don't just want to be a hero, right? What about me? So he does take this selfish idea that I want my own happiness. He doesn't see how much the earth needs him, because what happens is, before he reveals himself, the earth kind of were okay the way they were, but then they get used to having this superhuman figure being this shield for them. So when that shield goes, there's a problem. So unbeknown to him, Zod and his other two cahoots have escaped. They come to Earth and they cause mayhem. So he has to go and get his powers back. So it's a brilliant analysis of Clark's character and Kal-El's character, and the two different, I suppose, identities, if you like. So you've got Kal-El, the last son of Krypton, and you've got Clark. Really, Clark is, because Clark in these Superman movies is really, really relatable. He's got emotions. And when he's being all jealous about Superman to Lois, I kind of think that he's not actually pretending to keep the secret identity a secret. There is some jealousy. It's crazy, right? But as Clark Kent, nobody sees him. He's literally invisible. So as I say, the analysis of Superman in Superman 2, the Donner cut, the original vision of Tom Mankiewicz and Dick Donner, is actually better than what we get. And then there's parallels and comparisons, if you like, and analogies with Zack's Justice League and the theatrical cut. So the theatrical cut of Justice League kind of goes, right, here's Zack's version, cut, take the meaning out, let's go and reshoot some explosions, this and that, they'll never notice. And in a way, it's the same with Richard Lester's Superman 2, because Superman 2, Dick Donner's and Tom Mankiewicz version, was always supposed to be slightly darker. There's still a lot of comedy in that film, but in Lester's version, there's a lot more comedy. And they change a lot of things, right? And already you can see, as I say, the analogies with and the comparisons with Justice League and the Snyder Cut is exactly the same thing. So you've got this film, you've got this arc of Richard Donner and Tom Mankiewicz, and Lester goes, nah, it don't have to be that deep, does it? We're still right on those themes, and those themes are there. He still loses his powers, but it's slightly less compelling. And so that's why I actually like the Donner cut. And what happened to Donner and losing his job, and he lost his job simply because he cared about Superman, and he took him 2.5, 3 years to make an amazing Superman film in 78. Well, it wasn't made in 78, was it? We're talking about, what, 76, 77? It took a long time. They had to change release dates so many times. But the Hungarian producers, Ilya Sorkin and his father, right, Alexander, wanted to do it as cheaply as possible. They're the ones who had the idea of doing the awesome idea of doing a Superman film. But when it came to it and they realised how difficult it was, then they didn't. And then Donner was insisting, but they were so involved with Donner, they were considering getting rid of him in the middle of Superman the movie. Thankfully, we got that. Who knows? Because Richard Lester was already an intermediary in Superman the movie, because he'd already done the Three Musketeers for them. So if they sack Dick Donner, they bring Dick Lester in, and the same thing happens again. Nobody's going to notice, really, but the film wouldn't have been as good. So what Richard Donner did in those 3 years with Superman the movie is amazing, simply amazing. And without Dick Donner, I don't fall in love with Superman. Without Dick Donner, there is no Smallville. So it just goes to show you, doesn't it, when someone's got a vision, but these bean counters, these producers, these studios don't understand that. He really, really wanted to do something special with Superman, and he did. And the Donner cut is amazing. Now, mainly for the missing Brando sequences. As I said before, I like Lester's version. It's highly enjoyable. There's certain choices he makes that Donner doesn't make that I like. There's certain things that Donner changed in his cut that I wish he would have kept the Lester sequences in. But that's only because I've already seen the Lester stuff, and it just fits for me. And don't forget, the Donner cut isn't the complete vision of Richard Donner. They had to use what they had there, but an amazing effort, and the Donner cut is awesome. And I'm so grateful for Dick and everyone involved that made that happen. But it took a long time, didn't it? It really took a long time, and you kind of start to wonder, is that how long we're going to have to wait to see the Snyder cut? It could be. We don't know. We just don't know anymore. the difference is between the people fighting for the Donner Cut and us lot. I mean, I fought for the Donner Cut as well. I remember the letter writing and all of that. But ultimately, right, we have the internet for now, and we'll see what this virus does to humanity. You know, we may not have the internet for much longer. Let's make the most of being able to communicate with each other. And it just reminds me, really, how much I love Superman and how important this character is. When I see that character up in the screen, whether it's Christopher Reeve, whether it's Brandon Routh or George Reeves or Tom Welling, even without the costume, you know, or Henry Cavill, there's a buzz when I see the character in the costume using his powers, flying. It's beautiful. It reminds me how pure Superman is and how special Superman is. And he's a character that when I am about to do the wrong thing or think about doing the wrong thing, I see a flash of Tom Welling as Clark or Henry Cavill as Superman or, you know, Christopher Reeve as Superman. And then I think twice about doing something, right? If I'm going to swipe something, if I'm maybe if a woman approaches me and I know she's got a husband, right? And normally I'd go, well, she come to me, I can't resist. But then I think, no, Mick, this is wrong. And this is me being a bit honest here, right? A bit too honest, right? I'm going to lose subscribers. My views are taking a bashing. So either you've got bored of me or YouTube's totally messing up. But I'm gonna stay here talking to myself. It's fine. But yeah, I just really wanted to talk about Superman and what he means to me, really. And he means a hell of a lot to me. And as I've said to you before, how we've been since 2017 without Superman is disgusting. And I really hope now that the whole of Hollywood take a step back with the culture war, punishing male fans and male characters because they want to represent women. You can still represent women and represent men at the same time, you know. And you shouldn't be taking away Superman. You're losing so much money. So it's my hope in the industry. The industry are taking such a financial bashing now that I'm hoping they think, shit, we just got to push out a Superman film here, right? We need to do something here. So that's what I'm hoping, because not having new Superman material, I know we're getting the Superman Lois and Clark TV show, but that's not enough. We want him everywhere, right? Right? I like the Krypton TV show, but there's no Superman. I want Superman, right? I don't want to see kind of these TV shows and movies that are kind of about Superman, but there's no Superman. Give us Superman, TV shows and movies, because he is the absolute best. Please comment down below. Let me know how you feel about Superman. Like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with more DCEU Daily. See you again soon.